Well, hello everyone. Talk about right here, talk about job applications. We see this right here of talking about for auto paying and as well as for enrollment right here and sign up. But if anybody wanted to where that talk about for back to school sales right here, you see right here some examples right here of these students right here, and with these students, it could also be related to do anybody say that after you graduate and then you're trying to apply for a job. And like say that about how many job applications have you completed, and seems like sometimes, including the use of the mobile phone right here, that you might say that you filled out about 15 or maybe 20 job applications, maybe close to 100. I'm like, if anybody say that even though if the job position that they advertise is not going to be related to really about what you know that you're qualified for, but if anybody wonders is that why would you want to proceed with applying either by mobile or online for a few of these jobs, especially if it's going to be maybe after 11 o'clock at night, that you're like wondering, or why would you want to apply for a job after a certain hour or maybe on the weekends or something like that. If you want to apply for a job maybe after 9 o'clock, if it's going to be Eastern time or Central time or something like that. But if we're like wanting to, if we're going to be for back to school right here, for back to school, and then let's say by next year, and you're like wanting to, how many applications does it take just to be able to get an interview in and just to be able to get hired onto a job? And it feels a lot like if anybody say that, like playing the card game. Whenever you play a card game, if anybody says, have you come up to a bingo yet? But really, if you're going to be playing cards, or maybe if it seems like it's all just for practice. But if we're like thinking about it to where it seems like it happens almost all the time, to where that whenever you get your mind focused on something else, it just kind of take your mind off of all that tension, and then like going from job application to an application, and just think about it to where if anybody says is that a job application, it seems like an experiment. If you're just experimenting around with something, such as to where if you want to give one of these students maybe a mustache or something, and then you're like thinking about something that you would think you want to do just for fun, and then by the time you get a call back from one of those job applications, and you're like, we'd like to know a little bit more about So if anybody were to say that you've done the job application completing process so many times to where it seems like that you're just experimenting around with it, you just want to do something for fun, because it just seems like that you've done a number of those, and you're like come to the point to where now, and then by the time you get a phone call or maybe you get something in the mail, and then that's whenever that you're like, what's going on here? Why am I getting this in the mail? And in case if somebody asks too, what's that all about? And you're like thinking it to where that start talking. What's this all about? Back to school, and then what's this advertisement all about right here about for thank you for enrolling, and then what's this all about that you're getting text messages from talking about the website, or maybe from the company, you get a letter from the company or something, and anyway say that what's this letter all about, and where did this come from? And then people say that they start asking questions. It's like, I confess, I did it. Like, did what? Well, what I did was that I thought of the idea about to where that I start talking to them a little bit about a little bit about myself, about what I do and my skills, and I even included a cover letter. And now they think that somehow that I am considered professional. And if anybody were to say anything that you say on a resume or on an application, they're like thinking as to where that, of course, if you're going to write yourself and do it yourself, and then do the work process yourself, then you can put think of a few things that you want to put on there. And a few things could maybe be related to that you got skills and that you got experience, but really that compared to what you call this fun, if you want to call it maybe kind of like a facelift, but if you want to call it like what you call this, between this fun puzzle piece right here with this Photoshop work right here and compared to the actual document, that this think about is to where that that from what was recorded from the original document may not match with what's on the fun pack. What I mean by fun pack, I'm talking about something that you did for fun compared to what's required. And if anybody were to say that, that they're going to be looking at the fun pack first before they look at the original document, and they're going to say that, okay, how come we don't see a match right here? How come we don't see any how come that this don't match up? Well, we see right here, but still, if anybody say, yeah, this is an ad, but let's just say that if it was an ad for a job offer, and let's just say if you create a flyer just to advertise something, and just say, yeah, I like to make an advertisement too, that, I'm applying for this job position right here, and of course, if you see that I got this cool looking shirt, and I got this cool looking shirt, and, do you think that you would want to hire me? And just thinking about it to where between the fun pack and then some examples of Photoshop work right here. And anybody say that, whenever you apply for a job, that a lot of these applications, that I guess they're just kind of watching out for the fact about that, really, between these people who they show the actual document or that they show you a fun pack. And if anybody were to say that, the people that they may be having, they may get at least 100 or so applications within a certain time. But if anybody were to say that if you complete one job application and then, maybe you don't get a call back, or maybe if it's anything about as toward it, you don't fulfill the requirements, but really that about how long is too long really considers toward it, you're not going to get hired. And some people that may say that if it's been at least a year and it seems like nothing's happened yet, and just think about if you're really getting anywhere. But I just really think though that really that if you had everything together at first, cover letter and resume, if those came at a later on point, then chances are it's going to take a little longer. But really, it seems like you got to go by the truth either way, because as I say that even though if it seems like a card game. Really, that, playing the game in the field is a little bit like playing the game just for practice. Fill out a job application, and chances are that you're not going to get a call back or they're not going to respond. But whenever they do, these jobs do reply back, and just think about it to where that, that they would want you to say that, from the situation that's going on, that that they may already have that information, and they want to complete the review. And so just think about it to where that if it's back to school or if it's applying for a job, nearly 90% of students that may think that they go to school really to learn stuff, but would half of them be even surprised that they do wind up getting jobs later on. So it's like, just think about it. You'll fill out job applications that you learn quite a bit either way, but just knowing about the important part about it is to where that for what you earn as well. But other than that, thanks for watching.